In the rugged mountains of Sinaloa, a legend was born. Ismael El Mayo Zambada Garcia, a name that would come to symbolize the heights of power and the depths of criminality in Mexico's drug trade. For decades, El Mayo operated in the shadows, building an empire that stretched across continents. Our story begins in the 1970s, when a young Mayo first dipped his toes into the lucrative world of drug trafficking. Born into poverty, he saw the drug trade as his ticket to wealth and power. With a keen mind for business and an uncanny ability to avoid capture, Mayo quickly rose through the ranks of various cartels. It was his partnership with Joaquín El Chapo Guzmán that catapulted Mayo to the top of the narco world. Together, they built the Sinaloa Cartel into a global powerhouse. While El Chapo became the face of the organization, Mayo preferred to operate behind the scenes, pulling strings and making deals that expanded their reach far beyond Mexico's borders. At the height of his power, El Mayo's influence was felt in every corner of Mexico. He transformed drug trafficking from a crude trade into a sophisticated business empire. Politicians trembled at the mention of his name, while the common people sang corridos worshiping him. Mayo became more than a man. He became a myth, bigger than a motto. But even legends have their vulnerabilities. As authorities increased pressure on the cartels, El Mayo's allies began to fall. Family members were arrested, key lieutenants captured. Yet, El Mayo remained in the shadow, a ghost that law enforcement couldn't seem to pin down. For years, El Mayo managed to stay one step ahead of capture. Even as his empire began to crumble around him, he watched as his old partner, El Chapo, was finally brought down and extradited to the United States. The old guard was falling, and a new generation of narcos was rising to take their place. In a world where loyalty is rare and betrayal common, El Mayo's final chapter was perhaps inevitable. The details of his capture remain in mystery, but the impact was immediate and far-reaching. The fall of El Mayo Zambada marked the end of an era in the Mexican drug trade. As we close this chapter on one of the most enigmatic figures in narco history, we're left with more questions than answers. What will become of the empire he built? Who will run the cartel now? And will his capture bring any real change to the ending war on drugs in Mexico? Or will the United States still be the #1 consumer for these people? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain, the legend of El Mayo Zambada will live on, whispered in the mountains of Sinaloa and beyond, for generations to come.